Hello, my name's Jane Gillis from Bristol Schools Connection. Great to have you watching this. We wanted to encourage you to connect with your local school and to go for it and run an online assembly for them, or maybe they call it collective worship or community time. Now, it can be a bit daunting, so we thought we'd put some top tips together just to help to empower you and encourage you to go for it. So, just a few things first of all. Your audience will probably be small groups of children in a classroom with their teacher, and they'll be in different classrooms around the school. And it might also get sent home so that children can watch it with their family at home. Now, your theme, I wonder what your theme might be. Well, the school will hopefully give you a theme and then you can focus on that. But if they don't, then liaise with them and try and work out what would be a really good theme. And then I'd lastly just say that whatever you do, prepare well. So pray about it, plan, think about it, write out your whole script, try and learn it so that when you're in front of the camera, you're as natural as possible. How do you structure an assembly? Well, this is pretty much what I do every single time. I always start with a happy hello. A happy hello that's about a minute or so, connecting with their lives. Then I go on to a section that lasts probably about 3 minutes, which is hook them in. And that's hooking them into the theme. So that lasts about 3 minutes. Then I go on to a section which I'm going to call explore the theme. And the explore the theme section goes on for about 5 minutes, the main sort of body of the assembly. And then I go on to a section which I would call sort of reflection, time and space to reflect, probably about 3 minutes. And then right at the end, I'd have a bit of a bye section, but also a sort of see you soon section, almost like there's something else coming, like another film, but like another assembly's coming. So that's my basic structure. Happy hello. How do we do this? Well, firstly, it just involves a really smiley, happy hello with a bit of a wave thrown in is always good. Secondly, just acknowledge that there's some people watching it at school and possibly some people watching at home. So maybe just say hello if you're watching this at school, hello if you're watching this at home. And thirdly, I like to use this as a moment to connect with what might be happening in their lives. So I might say, okay, I wonder what you've been up to since I last talked to you. And then you can sort of acknowledge some possibilities. Or I wonder how you've been feeling. And again, you could acknowledge some possibilities. And just to lastly say for this section, if it's the first time you've ever done a video for them, then maybe just introduce yourself and introduce anyone else who's going to be involved. And just say a little bit about why you've made the video. Okay, the next section is hook them in. That's all about hooking them in to the theme, getting every single one of them from the youngest to the oldest engaged, something interactive. So my top things that I like to do is maybe ask a question. So something like, I wonder if you have ever, whatever it might be another question that I come up with. And I get them to press pause and then to chat with someone close to them about the question I've asked. So I love doing that. A question, great way to engage them. Secondly, a challenge. So you could say, let's say we've got a picture up. You say, can you count how many elephants are in the picture? Go, press pause, and they can count them. Or it might be something like, how many something can you name? Like how many chocolate bars? Go. And they press pause and they do it. Or, so it could be a question, it could be a challenge, or it could be like an idea shower. So it might be something that they put in the middle of a piece of paper and they do a whole load of pictures and words about that idea. So for instance, it could be summer holidays, all the words and the pictures that you think of when you think of summer holidays. Okay, it could be something like that. Or it could be all the things you'd like to do on your perfect day, right? Something like that. And the last thing I might want to do and hook them in is I quite like a bit of a quick quiz. Okay, might be like a picture that I put up. guess where this is or something like that. All right, so a quick quiz. So a question, a challenge, an idea shower, or a quick quiz. Hook them in. Okay, the next section is explore the theme. Explore the theme. This is normally about 5 minutes or so. Explore the theme. It's the longest section. Quite classically, it involves something like a story from the Bible. All right, a story is a great thing to include in this section. You could read it and show them the pictures. That's quite cool. You could get them to watch a video on YouTube or something else that you send them to watch. It could involve telling a personal story, or it could involve using puppets to tell a story. I love a good puppet. This is my puppet called Scorch. All right, it could involve Scorch telling a story. Puppets are great, aren't they? They're absolutely brilliant to tell a story. It could involve using maybe another book that's got a story that's not a Bible story, but it's a story with a spiritual meaning. That's useful as well, and showing them the pictures or whatever. You might be an amazing natural storyteller, so just go for it if you are. Tell it with your own voice and with sound effects and whatever. You might want to use an object to do a bit of an object lesson for this little section. All right. You might want to get the children, as you tell a story, maybe to draw pictures or to draw a comic strip as you tell the story. That's another nice idea. I quite like to include a puppet that I'm talking to, like Zap here. Quite like to talk to Zap. That's good, and it encourages a bit of sort of conversation stuff. The other person I quite like to include is my little friend here. He's asleep at the moment, but I quite like to involve Billy and talk to Billy. Sort of livens it up a bit. So a pet is great, and the kids love a pet being involved. All right. So Billy sometimes gets involved, and I would just encourage you with the main theme to sort of stick to a main point. All right. Stick to a main point, but I'd also say just allow space for a little bit of wondering, and to allow the children to be able to go, okay, yeah, I'm wondering about this story. So it might be like, I wonder why Jesus told this story. Or I wonder what we could learn from this story. And not filling all the gaps with answers, but allowing space for them to wonder in this section. So hopefully that's a few ideas for what to do in our Explore section. Okay, the reflection part of the assembly, just a few minutes near the end, and it's time and space for the children to think, to reflect, and to pray if they want to. So how do I do that? Well, one of the classic ways that I often do that is to give them some questions to think about. Maybe 1, 2, 3 at most. And they'll just be up on a screen for them to think about. And then I love to use music. Music's a great way of getting us to pause. And so it might just be music that the teacher has to press play on, or it might be a music video that I either include in my own video or I send them a link to. It's a music video, great way of doing that. Another thing that I quite like is a picture for them to look at. Piece of artwork or something where they can just go, yeah, I'm going to think about some things as I look at this piece of art. It might be a piece of art that's been in the story, or a piece of art that relates to the theme. Another idea is just having some stillness. Time, silence, just to be still. Another way is just to give them, they have their pens, their paper, just to draw maybe some things that you've thought about, or some things that you feel like you've learnt from this assembly, and give them time to draw or to write that. And I think it's important to have an invitation to pray, and to say to them, some of you might want to pray in this section. And sometimes I put up a prayer, an example prayer that they might want to pray if they want to. And lastly, the goodbye section. So it's pretty straightforward, just like a few seconds saying goodbye and saying that you're looking forward to doing another assembly for them. Okay, camera top tips. That's what we thought we would end with. Now, I'm not a genius at all, but there's a few top tips that I've come up with. So, firstly, speak to the camera as if you're speaking to some of the children. All right, so imagine some of the children behind the lens and try and look at the lens and look as if you're talking to some children. All right, so top tip number 1. Top tip number 2, don't always look at the lens because it can be a bit intense. Maybe have a point about there that you sometimes just sort of look to and have a think and then come back because it sort of lowers the intensity a bit. So that'd be my second top tip. Third top tip, try and film in different locations, all right? So, hopefully you'll see some of these pictures as I'm talking, maybe your garden or a different room or maybe out and about around wherever you live, all right? Third top tip. Another one would be just keep on smiling lots and use different facial expressions, all right, to engage with the people that you're talking to. I'd also say know your script. Don't be like holding the script or having it really close and thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to keep to this script. Just try and go with the flow and try and be natural, try and be yourself a bit, all right? I'd also say, as hard as it is, watch the video, all right? Watch the videos of yourself and sort of see how you're coming across. Okay, something I find hard, that. And get someone else to give you some honest feedback. Say, look, how am I coming across? That is a great top tip. Another top tip is to actually watch other people doing videos and see what you can pick up from them. My final top tip is have fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy just like you would do doing a live assembly with children or a live collective worship. Try and have fun. Try and engage. Try and imagine that they're there and just enjoy it. Great, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video and you've picked up some helpful top tips. If you would like us to help in any way, then please do email me on jane@bristolschoolsconnection.co.uk. We've got a document that includes all that's been said on the video, so if you haven't got that and you'd like that, email me and I'll send you that. And we love journeying with people, we love being a sounding board, so please do get in touch. Hope to hear from you. Goodbye.